Time right now is a little after 4 p.m. on a Friday afternoon. Every single Friday here at WSCA. And on Stay Tuned, we try to bring live in-studio guests. And today's no different. Fortunately, today I am joined by Mr. Moses Atwood himself. He is in the area, back in the area, I should say, and he's performing tonight up in Portland at 1 Longfellow Square along with Samuel James. It's sort of a hometown CD release party for him. One Bright Boat is the name of the new album, and it's going to be a blast up there. So I encourage you to get on up there if you have any free time today, because it's going to be a blast. We just had Samuel James live in the show not too long ago, and I was saying earlier that, separately you guys kick. You guys are great separately, but when you guys get together, it's just such a fun show. So hopefully it's great. So welcome, Moses Atwood. Moses happens to be my guest right now.
Hey, Sean.
How are you?
Doing great, man.
All right.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
I know that you don't get up this way as much as you used to.
Not as much as I'd like to.
Not as much as you'd like to?
No.
Well, you're busy. It sounds like you're busy where you're at. So
I'm getting busier.
And getting busier. That's good. Well, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the new album. One Bright Boat is the name of the new disc. And we'll play some live stuff. So, but if you don't mind, what I'd like to do is just start with something live, and then we can come back and chat about whatever you want to chat about.
Sure.
All right.
Well, this is a tune off the record.
All right.
It's called Hard Disposition. Well, this living on the run will cause the hard disposition. I mean, it's hard getting out, it's hard getting in. Once the heart grows that thicker skin, and still I love that woman the best that I can. It may seem shallow, but it's deeper than I've been in a long while. Because how much weight can we carry down? I mean, how much weight can I carry down? I think you can see how it happened to be. Wanted so much to believe in the dream, in the dream. Well, this living on the run will cause the hard disposition. I mean, it's hard getting out, and it's hard getting in. Once the heart grows that thicker skin, and still I love that woman the best that I can. It may seem shallow, but it's deeper than I've been in a long while. I think I feel it coming up. I think I feel it coming up. I think I feel it coming up. I think I feel it coming up, all right.
Very nice indeed. Moses Atwood live in the WSCA studios. A song called Hard Disposition. You can hear that off his brand new album called One Bright Boat. Moses' first disc since, for a while, actually. It's been a while in the making, I think.
Yeah.
When was the last one? I was telling someone, was that 2006 or 2008?
2006.
It was 2006.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's too long in the making.
It's quite a while.
Well, that was a great that was your debut. So this is your second album.
Yeah. Sophomore effort.
The sophomore effort, right? And you've put a lot into it. As they say, you've had your whole life to make the first one, and I know you took a long time to make the second one too, but that first album was a killer. The debut album was great, and I'm really looking forward to digging into this one. Well, let's talk about the disc, and then we can come back and we'll talk about. We'll let everyone know who you are and how you got here, I suppose. But first of all, I suppose the obvious question is, how come it's almost 7 years if you count we're that close to 2013.
That's a fair question. I did a lot of moving in between. I left Maine, I went down to North Carolina, and I guess it just took me a while to get back into a mode of being ready to record, and finding the right situation to do it.
So was it the location, or was it the moving part? Was it so what was the holdup? Or not that it was a holdup, but what wasn't quite right about it?
I think it was just circumstances. It just there's so many options when it comes to recording, so many different paths you can take, and so I think I just took my time.
Well, you certainly did take your time. Well, tell me about the process, because I'm assuming that it was a different process than the first one. You made the first one when you were up here, and for everyone at home, Moses used to live in Maine, and you said you moved down to North Carolina, and that was an adventure in itself. I remember you taking off saying, "Okay, I'm gonna just hop in my van and see where I end up." And
right.
You're gonna live the troubadour lifestyle,
Right.
And then for some, whatever, the fates brought you to Asheville, North Carolina, and that's where you seem to settle.
Yeah, I've been there about 5 years. Great music town.
Right on.
And the process of making this record was much different. The first record was basically a solo album, me and a guitar,
right,
with a little bit of support from David Goodrich, who produced the record. But this time around, I wanted to do a record with a full band, so I got some musicians, good friends of mine.
That you met down there, or?
And we went to Philadelphia to record to a studio called Waking Studio, which is run by Bill Moriarty, who has done a lot of work with bands like Dr. Dog, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And I really liked the sound of other records he had done. So
So you sought him out
yeah.
to make this one, so that was a particular, you knew that you wanted that sound, or?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went with some musicians up to Philly, and we laid it down.
Right on. So how long of a process was it? So it sounds like you packed the van and said, "Okay, guys, we're going to Philadelphia, and we're going to make an album."
Yeah.
So you better be good, because we're only going to be there a day or two.
The recording process pretty much took a week.
Really? Yeah.
Recording, mixing.
Mm-hmm.
We added a few little things when we got back to Asheville.
Mm-hmm.
There's some horns you heard on that last track that you played, and those were added in Asheville, some friends of mine. But the great bulk of it was finished in about 8 days.
Really? So were they complete pieces? Did you know exactly what you wanted when you're down there, or how much was a collaboration when you actually got there?
It was very collaborative.
Really? Good.
Yeah. The process was basically the musicians that I went with had played the tunes before, but they weren't prearranged.
Right.
We just put down basic tracks and then added things here and there. But, because of the short time that we had to work in, everything was very... there wasn't a lot of time to dilly-dally.
Right.
Once we got a couple takes, we just choose the ones we liked the best and moved on.
So what did Bill bring to the process?
Well, Bill is just a genius of being able to just place mics and then let the thing take on its own momentum and then get great sounds. So, he's really just was really good at capturing the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you do it in a live setting? Did the whole band play at once, or did you do individual pieces? How did that?
We pretty much did the rhythm section, bass drums, and then whatever I was doing live, and then we added from there.
Right, built up.
Yeah.
Was that fun? I mean, how was the experience overall? I mean, you did the last one by yourself. It's a little bit of an individual effort. Was it what you expected? Was it more or less, or was it hectic, not hectic? It
was a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I love the musicians that I got to play with. So I really enjoyed hearing what kind of creative input they had. And that makes it really fun for me to listen to the record.
Right.
Because, I hear myself all the time. So
right.
I like to hear what they're doing.
And how they change the songs or added to it. That's great. I was wondering if it would be more, if you'd have more of a sort of, I don't know what the right word is. I don't know if apprehension after waiting so long to make another album. Was there any certain feeling, or was there anticipation? Was there nervousness, or?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, that's part of the wait just had to do with continually delaying it because, there's just too many choices when it comes to the recording process. Right. So when I finally got around to doing it, it was like, I can't wait any longer. So you just have to make a decision, choose a place, choose the people, have a set time frame in which to do it. Right. And then basically it was like, we have a week here in Philly, we're going, whatever we do in that week, that's the record.
That's going to be the record.
And gotcha. I'm going to, accept it for whatever. Right. Whatever it is.
Well, hopefully, and you said you're pleased with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm looking forward to digging into it. I haven't heard any of the songs. I have heard a couple of the songs actually, like Louisiana. I've heard you play before live, which is a great song, and we just heard A Hard Disposition. Live in the studio. Time right now is 22 minutes past the hour, 4 o'clock. We're live in the studio with Moses Atwood. He's performing tonight up in Portland with Samuel James, the real Samuel James. He's performing at One Longfellow Square. It's going to be a great, sort of a CD release party, and a lot of fun. I guarantee it'll be a blast. So head on up there if you can. And from what I understand, tickets are going pretty quickly. So I might encourage you to get on up there, because Moses doesn't get back to the area as often as he'd like, as he said. So if you want to see him, this is the time to do it. So how about doing another live thing?
Sure.
Let's see what we get going on.
called In My Dreams. In my dreams, breathing fire. When I wake, I'm coughing up sparks. Soothe me in your skin, darling, I'm a burning in the dark. A ship sliding upstream, aching to confess the vaguest dreams. Silhouettes drifting on a distant sea. Oh, how the eyes deceive. Oh, how the eyes deceive. Spinning all around on the surface of the skin. What a way to begin the search for love. And even when she guides me in with her deepest trust, no matter how deep, it ain't deep enough. I'm sorry, love. In my dream, breathing fire. When I wake, I'm coughing up sparks. Soothe me in your skin, darling, I'm a burning in the dark. I saw a little bird's nest scattered all around on the frozen ground. A drop of blood from the sparrow's breast. I smiled and wept. Yes, I saw two trees breathing in the shadows side by side, and living so long they had intertwined. I wish their life was mine, because you are a hunger, an ache in the belly won't let me go, hiding behind the eyes of all the women I've known. It's just a shimmer of the soul in my dream, breathing fire. When I wake, I'm coughing up sparks. Soothe me in your skin, darling, I'm a burning in the dark. The play of the sunlight dancing off the water on a summer's day, and sending off diamonds all across the lake until they drift away. Or how the tree casts her most beautiful shadow on a moonless night, begging you, baby, make me whole for the night. I'm tired of the fight, and all the dreams of white come rushing back to you in a sudden flood. The singing of her song takes you home at last, and then the moments pass in my dream, breathing fire. When I wake, I'm coughing up sparks. Soothe me in your skin, I'm a burning in the dark.
Very nice. Moses Atwood live in the WSCA studios. Fantastic. Man, it's great having you back. It's great having you back in the area and back in the WSCA studios. The last time I saw you were up with Johnson's Crossroads.
Oh yeah.
And those guys were great. You introduced me to that band, and you were sort of a part of that band, right? Were you performing with them on a regular basis at that point?
I played with them on and off over the last 4.5 years. They have pretty much a foundation of just the two of them, Paul, the songwriter, and Keith, the mandolin player,
Right.
and then they have sort of a rotation, which I've been a part of.
So you've rotated in and out.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a great sounding band, especially with the way they did some of your songs and your addition to their songs. It was great, and that was a great introduction. I love being introduced to new bands I hadn't heard before. And so was that when you settled into Asheville? Well, let me just take one step back. For the people at home, we mentioned that Moses was he was a Maine native. He grew up in Damariscotta, which is a little bit north of nowhere. And then you became sort of a fixture around the Portland area. You moved down and, released your debut album and really became sort of the talk of the town for a little while. And then you made the decision to sort of jump in the van and take it go wherever it took you. And you landed in Asheville, and you met a bunch of musicians, as you said earlier. Now, was it because you fit in so well and you were expressing yourself creatively? Was that another reason, do you think, that the making of the new One Bright Boat took so long? Is it because it seems like a very comfortable fit from what I hear, from what I've heard you say off air and from the musical experiences that you've had?
Asheville, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's been really good to me there. It's full of creative people. I mean, it's similar to Portland, really.
Mm-hmm. Is it?
Full of creative people and about the same size.
Really?
So it had a familiar kind of feel to it.
Mm-hmm. Not a port town though.
No, that's the one part that I miss.
Yeah.
But it is kind of, I would say, ramped up a notch musically. There's a lot of music crammed into that little town, and because of where it is, it's sort of it's also a hub. So the number of national bands that are coming through all the time is there's a lot.
So is it a lot of there's a lot happening. Is there a lot of opportunity for a local singer-songwriter to actually perform, or is that
plenty of opportunity?
Yeah.
I mean, getting paid is another.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose you can play anywhere. Getting paid is another thing, right?
Yeah. But it's a little bit down in the heart of things, near Atlanta,
Right.
not too far from Nashville, and so many music festivals, and so I think all in all, though it sort of was it took me a while to get on my feet. Once I got down there, I've made a lot of really great connections,
Right on.
good friends, but also valuable musical connections.
Nice, good for you.
So
I wanted to ask you, what was the I mentioned just a little bit ago that you released your debut album and you were you had the I went to your CD release party up there. It was a blast. It was like over the top. Press was coming out. It was you were the talk of the town. What was it that made you decide at that point, okay, I'm gonna sort of just jump in a van and go wherever? Because that's a little bit of a nomadic lifestyle, considering it seemed like you were building something. It almost seemed like you just said, you know what, I'm just going to let that go.
I think I did, at least initially. I didn't think, I don't think at the time that I was going to quite let it go to the extent that I did.
Yeah.
It just kind of disappeared there.
Right.
But I knew that I needed to go and sort of experience something different.
Mm-hmm.
And all in all, going to Asheville was sort of a good wake-up call.
Landing in Asheville was a good wake-up call, or the trip there?
The experience of going to the town itself and being sort of a stranger.
Right.
The great the difference, between being the talk of the town and being a stranger.
Right. Being a small fish in a big pond as opposed to the big fish, right?
Exactly.
Well, good. So you stuck it out there, though, and you tried, I guess you laid down some roots.
Mm-hmm.
And is that a place that you think you're going to hang for a while? I mean, you released a new album now.
Yep.
Is that someplace you think you're still going to stay? Or?
Yeah, I'm planning to stay.
Oh, good.
I like it there. And, at 5 years, I've sort of built a community of friends and people around me that I don't know how easy it would be to start that over again.
Well, it would probably be very difficult considering, I mean, you already know what it's like to start over again. So
yeah, exactly.
And it's not going to be any easier than that.
The older I get, the less sort of social I get.
Yeah, well, and it's also the need for those kind of adventures, I imagine, are not quite what the allure is not quite the same.
Oh, not at all, actually. Yeah, no allure. But, I am hoping that that my music will get me up here more often now. I've just started in the last year working with a booking agent, a national booking agent.
Okay, yeah. So you're working
with Mongrel Music out of Fairfax, California.
Nice, good.
And that's how I started getting some gigs with Chris Smither because that's his booking agent as well.
Right, yeah. Chris was a recent guest here on the show, and he was a great guy, so you must be having a blast touring with him.
Oh, it's amazing. Yeah. He's a master.
Yeah.
He's been doing it longer than I've been alive.
Right. Absolutely.
So it's kind of like going to school.
I'd bet. And the one thing that what I found refreshing about Chris, and for some reason I wasn't, I had never met him before, and he was one of the few people in the sort of the folk world that I hadn't met. I've met quite a few, but I always was sort of nervous to meet him. I thought he was going to be, he's a little bit older. I thought he'd be set in his ways, would be kind of like withdrawn, maybe, kind of guarded. But he was 100% opposite of that.
Yeah.
So he seemed very sort of giving and open and gracious. And I imagine if you're touring with him, well, you can tell me if it's not the case, but it seems like when you say schooling, I think that he would be open to teaching anybody or inspiring anyone.
Sure, yeah. He's a really sweet guy.
Yeah, that's fun.
And an amazing performer.
Mm-hmm. Well, he's got it down for sure. He does. He definitely has it down. He's a great guitar player, great vocalist, great songwriter. He's got the whole package. Well, good for you. How did you end up with Mongrel? How did that come to be?
Oh, just serendipity, really. I played a festival back in Asheville that was called the Loki Festival. This was 4 years ago. The Loki is the trickster god. And it was this big festival, all these amazing bands, Toots and the Maytals and the Roots and Antibalas, and it was huge. One of the biggest festivals I've ever tried to throw in Asheville. And I played sort of a set. But the guy who put on the festival skipped town and nobody got paid.
Oh, really?
This huge
fiasco. Yeah, I bet.
But then afterwards, everyone was like, Loki Festival. We should have known. Anyway, the stage manager of that festival is a guy named John Felty, who runs a music production company down in Nashville. And so he really took to my music and has been sort of working, helping me out and taking on sort of a management role for me and introduced me to Brad over at Mongrel Music.
Fantastic.
So that's been something that's just been taking place over the last year. So this will be my first year working with Mongrel.
Well, that's nice. And if it keeps you busy, and if that's something you want to do, it seems like he does a really great job. He does a great job for Chris, and I know he has other people in his stable. So
yeah, I think
so
there's a lot of potential there.
Right on. That's great. I'm happy for you for sure, and I'm happy for us. If it gets you up here more often,
that's what I'm hoping for.
Time right now is 4:38, and you're listening to WSCA LP Portsmouth Community Radio, 106.1 FM. We're live in the studio with Moses Atwood. He's performing tonight up in Portland, and he has a brand new album out called One Bright Boat. If you want to learn more about him, go to his website, mosesatwood.net. Want to do another live thing?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, let's do another one. Let's see, where to?
You'll also be performing with Sam James tonight up in Portland. Sam was a recent guest here on Stay Tuned.
To the doctor, me and my boy. He's running a fever that we can't afford. The insurance company, they said we'd be okay, but when she looks at our form, she turns us both away. I said I took off work to be here. She said, oh, what do you want me to say? I said, do you expect me just to take my boy, turn and walk away? 'Cause I'm a willing man. I'm a willing man. And I'm a willing, but I can't do that. Now you know life never plays fair. Soon you'll learn not to care. 'Cause when you got mouths to feed, you find a way to get what you need. I don't think you can understand what kind of family man see around to see that his ends meet. It's true we all got to make a living. It's true we only got what we're given, but when they come looking for you, ain't no telling what you got to do. Hey, won't you follow me across the deep blue sea? It's in a big red boat, we'll go sailing in the sun. It's never no more 9 to 5 when we leave the world behind. So baby, load up your boots and buckle your gun. I said it feels so good to be a pirate, loving life in a big canoe. And no blue belly fat federal man telling us what to do. 'Cause I'm a willing man. I'm a willing man. And I'm a willing, but I can't do that. Now you know life never plays fair. Soon you'll learn not to care. 'Cause when you've got mouths to feed, you find a way to get what you need. I don't think you can understand what kind of family man would see your end to see that his ends meet. It's true we all got to make a living. True we only got what we're given, but when they come looking for you, there ain't no telling what you got to do. went to the doctor. That's me and my boy. He was running a fever that we can't afford. The insurance company, they said we'd be okay. But when she looked at our form, she turned us both away. When she looked at our form, turned us both away. Yes, she looked at our form, looked at our form, looked at our form, turned us both away.
Very nice. Awesome, actually. That was Moses Atwood live in the WSCA studios. Fantastic. Time right now is 4:44. And Moses is performing tonight up in Portland, along with his good buddy Sam James. Sam, another one of the best performers I've seen. The guy's fantastic. So tell me what the show's going to look like tonight.
Well, it's going to look great. Sam and I like to sort of trade off songs, you know.
Oh, so that's how it's going to be. Cool.
So we're going to do a little thing this time. We're going to do 4 songs each, and then 3 songs each, and then I think you see where this is going. Then 2 songs each, and then we're going to do one-offs for the rest of the night, as long as that lasts.
Right. Well, it's going to be a great show. Turn that down a little bit. Sam, as I said, was a recent guest here in the studio, and he puts on a great show. He's super talented, and I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we always have a good time.
When was the last time you got to perform with him? Like you said, you guys were pretty tight as far when you were up here before. When was the last time you guys got to get together and play?
Well, he actually came down to Asheville not too long ago.
Really great.
Just a couple months ago.
Nice.
So we played together in Asheville.
Nice.
I got to introduce his music to a bunch of my friends. So.
Yeah, they must have been very impressed.
Oh, yeah.
He is very impressive, for sure. So that's good. I'm glad it's working out for both of you. One Bright Boat is the name of the new disc. For everyone at home, you can see it there. And for everyone listening on the radio, you can go to Moses' website, mosesatwood.net, and you can check it out. And I believe, as I'm looking at it here, you can actually listen to it free before you buy it. That may be the case. I can't tell.
That's true.
That is true. Okay, yes. Great. All right, so I encourage you to go there and listen to it. And if you're heading up to Portland tonight, you can pick up a copy at the venue.
And if you have iTunes, you can get it on iTunes.
You can get it on iTunes as well. All right, There you go. And I encourage you not to only pick up this one, but pick up the debut album as well, because that one is fantastic. It's one of my favorite discs. It's great. We talked a little bit about how you're getting out there now, and you played the festival, the Low-Key Festival. You're touring with Chris Smither. Mm-hmm. You mentioned off air that you're doing a cruise with a lot of big big heavy hitters.
Yeah.
Tell me about that and how people can learn more about it.
Well, they do a cruise every year. They call it a Journey Through Song. It's a songwriting cruise that has they book a number of songwriters, eminent songwriters every year. Mm-hmm. Really varied genres, but all concentrating on the craft. Mm-hmm. This year will be, Lyle Lovett, Keb Mo, Richard Thompson, the Wood Brothers, Brandy Carlisle, Buddy Miller, a whole bunch of great bands. Dawes is going to be on it.
Oh, yeah, I love Dawes.
Yes. They're
love all those guys, actually, you just mentioned. So.
Yeah. Justin Townes Earl is going to be on it. So,
so are there workshops? Are there songwriter workshops, or how is it going to work?
I don't think there are workshops. I think that there's just a schedule of performances, and it's a 7-day cruise. We leave out of Miami, we go to, and then everybody goes to the stops: Tortola, Puerto Rico, and
that sounds like
the artists
so much fun.
And the people who buy the tickets to go alike get to go on at the ports. Mm-hmm. But then while the ship is at sea, there's constantly these shows being played. So there's 3 stages, a listening room for solo artists like myself, and then the big concert hall for Lyle Lovett and
Right.
whoever else, Dawes. And so I'm really excited to be a part of it this year.
Yeah, I guess so. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
For one, just the cruise itself. I mean,
Yeah.
that's a bonus.
That's a bonus.
And then to get to be able to hang out in the same boat with all those people you just mentioned,
Right.
is huge.
Right. And they're
Is it-
paying me to go on a cruise,
Yeah.
which is, you know,
That's the
change
way
of
life.
roles
That's
here.
the way life should work,
Yeah,
right
exactly.
there. Well, that's fantastic. Is there one of those artists that you're dying to see, or?
I'm really excited, honestly, to see Buddy Miller.
Yeah,
I think of everybody, I might be most excited.
Buddy is fantastic. Great songwriter. When you talk about the songwriting craft. But I just saw a video of him with his new band with Robert Plant.
Yeah.
And he is an amazing guitar
Oh,
player.
he's an exceptional guitar player.
And for some reason, I had never seen that. And I was always a fan of his songwriting skills. But there was this video, and I was just like, wow, he can rock out, man. It was great.
That's
So-
interesting, 'cause I've always thought of him as a guitar player.
Really?
So,
Yeah, well,
now
that's
that-
cool. I don't know how I just got introduced to him by his songwriting, I guess, and I just I don't know. It's the rocking out part that just
Yeah.
really got me. So that's good. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
That'll be good. I'd love to see him as well.
I'm really excited to see the Wood Brothers as
Yeah,
well.
I've had the Wood Brothers live in the studio here, so and they are super talented too.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I mean, anyone that you just mentioned on that is great. So
Yep.
it'll be a good vacation for you and hopefully good to get your music out there as well.
That's the idea.
Fantastic. Right on. So is that obviously that's the next big thing that's happening. Anything else on the horizon that we should know about? Or
Nothing else too big. Just some more gigs with Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Playing with him in Annapolis, Maryland, February 3rd.
The Ram's Head.
The Ram's Head.
Yeah, good.
And hopefully recording another record this year.
Oh, really good. All
I'm
right.
gonna try.
Nice. All right. We'll hold you to it.
Yeah.
Well, it's this one was a long time in the making, and I know that I've had a couple of other friends that have taken longer periods of time in between albums. So
Good.
you're not the longest. But then once they got that second one out, it seemed to roll a little bit.
Yeah, you just gotta get over that
there
first
was
hump.
there was that whatever. I don't know if it's an emotional block or if it's whatever kind of block. There was something that just wouldn't let them do it. So yeah,
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Right on. So we're looking forward to whatever you put out, that's for sure. And for people at home, mosesatwood.net. Go to his website, check him out. And again, tonight up in Portland. And if you want to go on that cruise, I encourage you to do that because that sounds like a lot of fun.
Sold out.
Is it? Well, you can't go.
You can get on the waiting list if you want.
Well, but that still sounds like a lot of fun. I imagine it's sold out. How big is a boat? Is it just like a regular cruise?
It's huge. Yeah. It's like a Norwegian.
Oh,
It's
nice.
it's big. So they got to sell enough tickets to pay all the musicians. I
Right on.
guess.
Well, that's... And obviously, when is that?
That is January 14th.
Oh, okay. So it's coming right
Coming
up.
right up.
Yeah, good for you.
But they have a great lineup every year. So if anybody's interested, kamo.com. You can go and check out next. Who knows when they're announcing next year? But last year, John Prine was on it, and
Nice.
so they don't mess around with their booking, I guess.
Yeah. Wow, I guess so. Well, and it just seems I've never done it, but it seems like a fun way to see shows as well as
Oh, I'm sure.
just have a vacation.
That's it.
Right on. All right. Well, time right now is about 10 minutes before the hour. We got time for one more song, and I can't thank you enough for coming in. Seriously,
thanks a lot, Sean.
always great seeing you.
Gypsy girl, hands of Harlem, cannot hope to hold your heat. Your temperature's too hot for taming. Your flaming feet are burning up the street. Well, I am homeless. Come and take me to the reach of your rattling drum. I got to know, girl, all about my fortune down along my restless pond.
Gypsy girl, you've got me swallowed. I have fallen far beneath your tender eyes, so fast and slashing, and your gnashing diamond teeth. Well, the night is pitch black. Come and make my pale face fit in the place of peace. I got to know, baby, I'm nearly drowning. Is it you, my lifeline's tracer? I've been wondering all about me ever since I saw you there on the cliffs of your wildcat charms I'm riding. I know I'm wrong, but I don't know where. Well, you have slayed me, you have made me. I got to lift halfway off of my heels. I got to know, baby, will you surround me so I can know if I am really real?
Fantastic. Excuse me. Moses Atwood live in the WSCA studios. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Congratulations on the new album. The new album is called One Bright Boat. For everyone at home, you can see that there. MosesAtwood.net if you want to learn more about Moses. And tonight up in Portland, I encourage you to get on up there. See him live whenever you can, and buy the albums. It's what keeps him working.
That's right.
So I encourage you to do that. Time right now is about 5 minutes before the hour, and Demarcus and I was unmessed. Thank you so much again. I can't thank you enough. I'm going to end with, let's see here. Since I have 5 minutes, I think I'm going to end. I'm going to end with a song called Louisiana. It's a great song. And, yeah, so there you go. You've been listening to and watching. Stay tuned here at WSCA 106.1 FM. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to turn you over to one more cutoff of One Bright Boat, the new release from Moses Atwood. Sure I got the right disc queued up. Name of the song is called Louisiana.
That was awesome, guys. Holy crap.